Now, I'm sure that caffeine use is familiar to pretty much all of my viewers, being the programmers that most of you are, and, of course, a central tenet of programming is consuming caffeine. However, if you're drinking caffeine daily over a long period of time, you're probably not using it as efficiently as you could be, as I found out the hard way. So, for some background, I went from drinking about 8 or 9 cups of coffee daily, which is known as fucking heart attack quantities of caffeine. It'd work out to maybe about 600 or 700 milligrams of caffeine a day. Now, I woke up every day with a tension headache and constant pain in my jaw from muscle tension, and I developed some pretty unpleasant anxiety symptoms. However, at some point I got really sick for like a week and I couldn't drink caffeine anyway, and this had the effect of showing me a level of illness combined with caffeine withdrawals that I would sooner kill myself than try to experience again. But the point is that after this hard caffeine reset, well, it took a couple more weeks to get to actual normal levels, I had lost a lot of the tension and anxiety that caffeine was giving me. So I decided, fuck that, I'm never drinking caffeine again if that's what the cold turkey withdrawals are like. But I ended up working out a way to drink it occasionally without experiencing dependence or tolerance. Now you might be wondering how, and you could probably work it out with a few minutes to think about it because it's not particularly complicated. It's literally just not drinking coffee regularly. I generally limited it to maybe 2 times a week, distributed sporadically so as to not let my body get used to it. Now this has the effect of making me non-caffeine dependent in day-to-day life, and when I do drink coffee, it makes a hell of a difference to my productivity. Quite often, the amount of work I get done doubles or even triples on days when I do drink coffee because I have maximized my sensitivity to it. This also means that on days I don't drink any coffee at all, I can still do an average amount of work. So that's basically my advice. Get off caffeine either cold turkey, which I legitimately would not recommend if you drink as much as I used to, or you taper off by recording your daily caffeine intake and slowly reducing it. So for reference, there's a little under 100 milligrams of caffeine in an average strong cup of coffee, and about 20 to 30 in an average cup of black tea. And once you're off caffeine, just use it periodically. 1 or 2 days a week seems to be a good spot for me, but it depends on how your own brain deals with it. I developed dependence and tolerance remarkably quickly, but I've heard some people drink even 3 or 4 days a week without developing any dependence at all. So, what about this other Nootropics bit that I put in the title of this video? That's right, your boy's put his research into this, and some things go a little bit beyond caffeine. So I'll move on to my next favourite, which is L-theanine. This one's a little bit niche, and I've never taken it in tablet form, but it's also a chemical which is found in black tea, which reduces the jittery side effects of caffeine and increases single-track focus, so your brain's not as all over the place as it would be if you just shotgunned 5 shots of espresso. In my experience, the caffeine from black tea compared to coffee is very different. Black tea definitely affords much more focus and clear thought rather than maybe the frantic feeling you can get on a lot of coffee. Plus, black tea naturally has much less caffeine than coffee, so that probably also plays a role. Now, L-theanine is frequently taken on its own as well. A lot of people in nootropic communities consider L-theanine as an obvious frontrunner out of all the weird nootropics they do use. It is really hard to build up a tolerance, dependence, or experience withdrawals on even high amounts of L-theanine taken daily. It has no real adverse effects compared to caffeine, which can cause anxiety, tension, shakiness, and other things. Alright, this last one isn't really nootropic, but it's just a good idea. Take some damn multivitamins, will you? Caffeine actually drains your brain's magnesium stores, fun fact, meaning you're more prone to unpleasant muscle tension, which is already an unpleasant side effect of caffeine. Also, if you're not getting enough vitamin D or vitamin B, you might just feel kind of depressed or deflated and not even realize it until you start supplementing them and feeling noticeably better. Now, this is especially important if you're on a vegan diet, since it's quite easy to miss out on essential B vitamins or vitamin D3, which is difficult to produce from non-animal sources. Everyone feels the effects of animal products generally being supplemented with vitamin B and D before being sold to you, but unfortunately this practice is much rarer in vegan products. So that's about all my knowledge on this topic, but I have skipped out some details. If you want to know anything else, or better yet, you want to share something along these lines with me in the comments, please do. I should also note that at this point you shouldn't expect any nootropic drug to fix your productivity problems. You do have to put in some brain work and head thinking to get anywhere with it, but they can be used in combination with other practices like that. I don't know how to pronounce it, I know how to spell it. It's Pomodoro. Project tracking and closing your social media channels while you work. Even meditation can be useful sometimes. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more videos wherein I, an unqualified 18-year-old, gives you advice as to which mind-altering substances to use to help you achieve your goals. Goodbye. Alright, so because I can't remember to self-promote to save my life, I have to add this bit on the end separately, so feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, or leave a comment. Do all that stuff that's good for the YouTube algorithms and by extension me. Also, I have a Patreon, so you can get beta copies of Warp Tech for only $1 a month if you so desire. The link to that is, of course, in the description, you complete and absolute gremlin people.